Putin is now using his Iranian drones to carry out a reign of terror in Ukraine. At least 4 people died in the kamikaze drone strikes. These are Iranian aircraft. They're called Shahed 136 drones. They fly 1,500 miles, but only at 100 miles an hour. They're so slow, the sound of them is a terror weapon in and of itself. Explosives are attached to the front of the drone. They detonate right before hitting the target. And one of the reasons these weapons are so effective is they're hard to spot on radar and can easily evade or fly below Ukrainian air defenses. The United States knows the Iranians gave these drones to the Russians, continue to, but for whatever reason, we're not doing anything about it. Bruen's here, former director of global engagement in the Obama White House and national security apparatus. All right, Brett, boy, it seems like we never miss an opportunity with the Iranians.
Well, and Leland, as we so horrifically saw today, I mean, these drones are the future of warfare, and the ability of Iran, or for that matter, any other nation-state group to make them represents such a change in the dynamics of warfare. And I think, the images you're showing on the screen right now could easily be Iran's response to the breakdown of negotiations. They could be raining down on European cities, or quite frankly, on American cities at some point.
Or Israeli cities.
Or Israeli cities. And this really ought to be a wake-up call to Washington, to Brussels, and here in London. We got to do something about this, because what is happening to Kyiv and to Ukraine more broadly with these drones, these Iranian-made drones, is coming to a theater near you quicker than I think many of us realize.
One of the reasons we love having you is you can put it in perspective, not just in terms of the situation we're looking at, but then on truly a global scale. Over the past week, we've heard the U.S. administration say over and over again, we're reevaluating our relationship with Saudi Arabia because they wouldn't pump more oil ahead of the midterm elections. It feels as though the only people who are happier than the Russians about our break with Saudi Arabia is the Iranians.
Well, because this was part of the coalition that the Biden administration has put together in an effort to try and add pressure to Tehran on these nuclear negotiations. But since those have kind of broken down, Leland, the utility of Saudi Arabia is less significant to the White House. That being said, I think it's a good thing that we are stepping back from what was a poorly considered visit by President Biden to Jeddah, that famous or infamous fist bump. But now I think the question becomes, one of whether it's Saudi Arabia or Iran, what are we going to do about this? Because for a long time, and I certainly was in the group of folks hoping we would see some new improved nuclear deal out of these negotiations, we're clearly not getting one. And what we're getting, and this I think is particularly important for the Middle East, are more of Iran's extracurricular activities. And those have got to be met by a strong U.S. response.
But at the same time, the best counterweight inside the region to Iran is the Saudis, and probably the Saudis and then the Israelis. The announcement by Ned Price that we're not going to meet, President Biden's not going to meet with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia at the G20 summit, the continued U.S. silence to the protests inside of Iran and the demands for freedom there. How are these just not, forget silence, but continued gifts to the Iranian regime?
Well, look, I think we, quite frankly, can dual track. On the one hand, we can and we should punish Saudi Arabia for this just brazen attempt at trying to increase revenues while Russia is invading Ukraine, while we and the rest of the world are suffering from economic inflation. But at the same time, and especially now that we're not really looking at a viable path towards an agreement, we ought to go hard after Iran. We ought to, both because of their crackdown on these latest crackdowns on protesters and women who are just trying to exert fundamental freedoms, these threats to both the region and obviously the attacks on Ukraine. All of this ought to demand a much more robust response from from Washington. And Biden ought to show, look, the sanctions you thought were tough, quite frankly, you ain't seen nothing yet. And that's where I think we ought to be headed with Iran.
Yeah, you have to wonder what it'll take, right? You've got the kamikaze drones, the extracurricular activities. Obviously, they're harassing U.S. ships. Now you've got their crackdown on women in the streets and killing them, and still zilch, really, from the administration. Brett, thank you. We appreciate it.
You bet.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.